What's happening, guys? So I've been wanting to do this for quite a while now, and yeah, I think with everything new, we get shy and we get nervous and scared of failing, scared of people not watching your stuff. But I'm at a stage now where I'm just going, I'm going full for it. I'm going for it. I'm backing myself, and I'm taking this leap, and um, yeah, trusting my instincts. And I just feel like this is the right thing for me to be doing, and it excites me. I know it's the right thing to be doing because I lie in bed at night and I think about what I'd want to say or how I'd want to say it, and I can't stop thinking about coming on here and speaking about so many things, and I've just got to start. So here I am starting. Here I am getting myself a little microphone, and yeah, welcome to this journey, and I'm quite excited. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna start a podcast, a show, just a safe space for people to come talk, and I'm gonna be calling it the Knock On. So why the Knock On? In life, we have moments where we feel like we've knocked on the ball, and uh, yeah, everyone has those moments, and I want to use this for people to come listen and get advice from when they have their moments of knocking on, or get advice of how to avoid them knocking on in their lives. So I think before I bring people on and I start chatting to people on here and hearing their stories and hear how they've dealt with things, I think it's really important that everyone knows my story. So when you are listening, maybe you can connect with me in a certain way, or you can relate to the things I've been experiencing and going through. And um, even if I just help one person out listening to this, it's so much. It means so much to me. So this is exciting. I've done a lot of schoolboy work, and I think I have a really good audience of young men who are also ambitious. So they have so much potential. They want to get better, and I think I can create this space where, yes, I'm putting them in the limelight by making reels, making posts about them, but I feel like I'm not doing them the best service I can if I'm not speaking about my experiences from that age, or bringing people on who've been in those situations. And yeah, I've struggled with quite a bit in this last year, and I feel like it hasn't been for nothing. So I'm going to use those experiences to share with other people, share with other men out there that it's okay to speak about these things. And yeah, so it's all really going to be just me being me. So yeah, the theme of it's going to be grab something to drink, sit down in your evenings, and yeah, enjoy the knock on. So with all that said, I think it's important to get into what was my knock on. Um, for those who don't know me, I had an incredible childhood growing up. Parents always made sure me and my siblings had exactly what we needed when we needed it. Yeah, I had such a fun childhood. Played all the sports. Was so lucky to go to a really cool primary school called Monument Primary in Ladysmith, and they really gave me the right foundations, and really instilled a love in sport. Yeah, during cricket season, I wanted to be the next AB de Villiers. During rugby season, I wanted to be the next Brian de Banner, Mornay Steyn, and I was so fortunate and lucky that I had a talent. I had a talent in sports, and that opened up so many opportunities for me. It helped me meet some incredible people, incredible coaches. So yeah, really good childhood. I then attended an agricultural college in wherever called Western, where people often ask if I'd change going there, and I wouldn't, because I was taught so much there in terms of discipline, hard work, sticking together with people that you're in a situation with, and taught me to be tough. It wasn't easy for us. So yeah, I was fortunate enough to go there, and then my life changed. My life changed. I was then very, very lucky. I say lucky, but I worked hard for it too. I got a rugby scholarship to attend Glenwood High School, and when that came, I couldn't say no. It was, yeah, I wanted to be a professional rugby player. I wanted to make it, and I couldn't say no to the opportunity. And I went full force. I went straight for it, and only once I arrived at Glenwood did I understand the magnitude of the school. I think we all watch The Green Machine and knew about The Green Machine, but you step into the school, and I just come from a school where there were 180 kids in the whole school. I now had over 180 guys in my grade. Uh, yeah, where there was one rugby team per age group, and Glenwood all of a sudden you had 8 or 9. I'd always been the most talented in my age groups in primary school and high school, and then all of a sudden you step into a pool where everyone's just as good. So yeah, I moved to Glenwood High School in 2015, my grade 11 year, and it was tough. I had moments where I just wanted to go home, go back to Western, go back to bed was easy, but I didn't. Luckily, I had an older brother who I respect so much and is someone I still look up to and will always be a role model to me. And he said to me, "I was like, you have this incredible opportunity, just make the most of it, take it with both hands." And from that, it really changed my mindset of how I saw things, how I went about things, and that's where I was like, I'm here now, I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna play first team rugby. I'm gonna make the provincial side. I'm gonna get a contract, and yeah, the nice thing, Glenwood gave us all those tools. They had the best conditioning coach. They had the best coaches, and all I had to do was just be committed. And yeah, grade 11 year, I played second team rugby. Made the bench for the first team once, but I knew that the main priority was 2016, my matric year, and where I really learned a lot was they selected a squad for the 2016 season because we were going to Japan, and we were told that you had a certain program to follow. You had certain food you couldn't eat, couldn't go out partying with your friends, couldn't go out drinking, and they said if you follow this program, you work hard, you stay disciplined, you'll be rewarded. And the moment that happened, I gave everything I had to that rugby program, and it paid off. It paid off, and that's where I knew that if I put my head to something, I work hard, I will be rewarded. And that's just set me up now for my life, because I knew that if I put in the hard work, if I stay dedicated, if I really want something, I can go get it. And I'm so grateful to Glenwood, to coach Derek Harburg, to coach Rudy Damas, Mark Viles, Jeremy McLaren, because that instilled something in me that it can't be taught. You need to be able to take it with both hands, and that's what I did. So 2016, I had the best year of my life. The best year of my life was my last year of school. Being a big cricket fan and cricket lover, I played a game for the 7th team cricket team. All the rugby boys made a team, and I made like a quick 50 off 11 balls, and didn't think much of it until the Monday where Mr. Chetty, the first team cricket coach, called me out of class and he said, I want to call you up to the first team. But it wasn't that simple. Straight away I was like, absolutely, like I want to play first team cricket. But I was there on a rugby scholarship. I dedicated a whole pre-season to rugby, and rugby was at an important stage of pre-season. They're going into the season, and I remember speaking to the coaches, and they were like, well, don't you want to be a professional rugby player? And something just said to me, like, I do, but I want to enjoy my matric year also. I want to play first team cricket. I want to play a sport I love. And yeah, to make the sacrifice of not being as present at pre-season and missing out on going to Kersney Festival. But it was such a good decision, because I then went on to play first team cricket, 7th team to first team on a weekend. And then in my second game, scoring a 50 and yeah, surprising myself. I knew I was talented. And here I was at one of the biggest sports schools in the country, playing first team cricket, playing first team rugby, and um, I'm just so grateful for my upbringing because I could play these games growing up and I could add these skills. So yeah, that really did boost me in that aspect. So yeah, cricket season came and did really well there, and then yeah, it was time for rugby season, and we're so lucky. We went to Japan. We won the Sonics World Cup. We came back. I played academy week rugby, captained that team, and then um, I then got a scholarship, not a scholarship, or scholarship to NMMU University with a contract, professional contract to the EP Kings Academy, where yeah, what was tough was really tough, but there again, it was tough, but I learned so much. And then that sort of, the academy fell apart and guys lost contracts, and that's where I said that I want to go play overseas. I want to go play rugby overseas. I'm young, I want to travel, and I had an agent at the time, and he said, because of the passport you have, you can't get anything, and in my head I was going overseas. So I said, cool, thank you for your help. I'm just going to have to do this by myself, and for the next 2 months, I sat at home messaging over 100 teams every single day. I messaged them on Instagram, I messaged them on Facebook, emailed, WhatsApped, all over, from Russia to Japan to America to Portugal to France to Spain. Every team heard from Matthew Bauer, and I don't know, God works in such funny ways. One day I got a friend request from a French man, I didn't know who it was, I accepted, and he ended up being an agent, and he put a post up saying that there was a team looking for a lock. All I needed to do was send through my CV and my video, so I sent it through. Half an hour later, he said, the club are keen, am I? I was like, well, can I have a look at the contract? And they sent through a contract, and I remember I was driving home, and I pulled over, and I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I'm going to France. And yeah, I signed the contract and got the visa done, and 3 weeks later, I was in France. 20 years old, didn't know a word of French, didn't know anyone at the club I was going to. I was just this 20-year-old who had a dream, and was so lucky I was about to go live my dream. Yeah, so then I arrived in a small town that will forever have a special part in my heart called Orthez in the southwest of France, where I arrived as this 20-year-old, not knowing what to expect. All I knew was bonjour. I got to the airport and I was picked up by the club president in a very fancy car, and off we drove. He couldn't speak a word of English. I couldn't speak French, so you can imagine what that drive was like to the town. And as we drove in, he all he did was he just points to his chest. He was like this, and then just points to every building. He's like, me, 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 meaning that that's what he owned. So yeah, that was my introduction to France, and I'm forever grateful to him, Alain Suzanne. Président, merci pour tout. T'as changé ma vie, tu me donnais beaucoup, beaucoup de trucs, et tu avais fait mon rêve en réalité. Et j'espère que si tu vois ces vidéos, merci pour tout, et j'ai pas plus, je peux pas dire plus que merci. Tu avais tout fait pour moi. C'était incroyable. Je vais jamais changer tout ça, et grâce à toi, j'ai mon rêve était une réalité. Donc merci beaucoup pour tout, et bon courage. Yeah, so I'm just grateful for him. He took a chance on a young South African boy, and before I knew it, 1 year turned into 5 years at the club, where I went from not speaking a word of French to then again being dedicated 2 hours twice a week learning French, going to lessons, and it was really hard. I struggled in terms of, I didn't struggle at the time. Only later would I understand that loneliness really affected me, but at the time I was just living my dream in France. And yeah, it was difficult. You go into the change room and you don't understand what's going on. People making jokes, making laughing, and you don't know if they're laughing at you, if they're laughing with you. So yeah, that was that. Bus trips, team meetings, you don't know what's being said. You're just sort of going off instinct, and yeah, sometimes looked at funny because you're this foreign guy brought in. But lucky for me, I was at a really good club where I was really well supported, and there was such a good group of guys. Yeah, from my first friend I made there, Benjamin. Yeah, they really did look after me, and the one regret I do have is that I went into a bit of a shell where guys would ask me to like come out for dinner or go out for drinks, and because it was so difficult to communicate and you felt so bad seeing them have to like pull out Google Translate, and I felt like I don't want people to make so much effort for me, but they were just being friendly. So any young people who are going to foreign countries, just take that, just go. It's the best way to learn. And yeah, it's something I wish I did, but yeah, I made my decisions, and that was okay. So yeah, then COVID came along, and this is where I really started to have a few battles. Up to that stage, I'd had a fairly injury-free career, nothing significant, nothing serious, and 3 weeks before COVID, we played a game, and I got tackled, and I got up, and I couldn't straighten my knee. I couldn't really walk on it, and I knew, yeah, I don't know, you just know when something isn't too good. So yeah, couldn't finish the game, headed home that evening, and I was in so much pain. My knee swelled up, managed to get a doctor's appointment, managed to do the whole MRI, and they came back and said that my meniscus is completely torn. So I was like, okay, cool, surgery's going to be needed. I could use the next few months, and by the time the summer came around, I'd be ready for the new season. But little did I know, our friend COVID-19 was coming around, no summer, and the day I was meant to go in for surgery, the country shut down. France shut down, lockdown. So for 3.5 months, I sat at home in my little apartment on a farm where I couldn't straighten my leg. I was in pain, but COVID was happening. So yeah, that was my introduction to COVID. No people around. The only people I had around were the people who lived on the farm that I was staying on my little apartment, and them and their dogs and the chickens. So yeah, I thought at the time that I was okay, I was getting through it, but I'd have moments where I'd break down, I'd be sad for no reason, and I didn't know why I was feeling like that. So that was the first taste of something a bit different and difficult, but like always, we get through it, put our head down, and slowly COVID went away, and could then go see the surgeon, had my surgery, got back to on the field playing, and yeah, that really did teach me patience, and it taught me to be grateful to being able to be on the field consistently. And then yeah, things went really well. Still stayed on at the club. I was really happy there, and then 2021, 2022, a really, yeah, a big change in my career and how I saw things happened. The club hired new coaches, the one coach being James Percival, English rugby player, played professionally all over France and England, with the South African conditioning coach Ulrich Pretorius, and they were excellent coaches. I learned so much about myself and my game working under James in particular, like how I was looking at lineouts, how I was running lineouts, why was I making these calls, and he taught me the art of how you study lineouts, how you learn the opposition's lineouts, and yeah, we had a really good season. I felt like I was in the best condition of my life. I was having fun on the field, and I was finally at a stage where, being so young playing senior rugby, you often feel like you're not contributing. Where now I felt like I was contributing in games. I was decisive plays to affect the game in a positive way. And then we had an away game against a very physical team. Away days are tough as they are in France, but we played against top of the table team, and yeah, we knew it was going to be physical in the face. And so a game kicked off, and there was a bit of arguments and pushing about, and as you always do in these games, you get in these games, and something happened, and three of their players were sort of on our captain, grabbing our captain. So I just sort of went to like break it up and just stand up for our captain. And next thing I knew, I was being woken up by Ulrich, and I didn't know what had happened because last I went was to separate a fight, and before I knew it, I was waking up on the floor. Everything was fuzzy on the side of my eye here, and I had a huge headache, and I didn't understand what had just happened. But what had happened was, as I went to separate that, one of their players came and punched me on the side here, and knocked me out. I was like, okay, these things don't normally happen when you get punched, but concussions happen and these things happen. But then, that was really, really difficult because when you have an injury where it's a leg, where it's an ankle, an arm, you can ice it. You can put strapping on it, you can do all these things, but when it's your head, you can't do anything. And the next 3 months were really difficult because I did my 3 weeks protocol, not playing, tried to come back, headaches, I felt nauseous, felt like vomiting, couldn't look at lights, I couldn't watch a TV, couldn't be in a group of people. I'd just get nauseous, I'd get sick, and the coaches just said, like, don't even rush. And I didn't play for 3.5, 4 months, and after that I felt okay coming back. I took my time and got back into good form. Muscle memory is an incredible thing. Got fit again, got back playing, and I was all good on the field training, but I was still lights were really, it was difficult. Sensitive, really, so that happened. I thought, okay, sure, all be okay, and things were all good with that. And then another knock on, we had 4 games to go. We needed to win the next game so we wouldn't get relegated and secure our spot in the league. And had a really good training session, got back home, had a shower, did my stretching, had something to eat, got into bed, and I got up to go to the toilet, and I slipped and did my same knee. Straight away I knew exactly what it was. It was the exact same feeling I'd had 3 years ago, and 2 years ago I think it was exactly, and couldn't straighten my leg, swelled up, huge discomfort. Went to the physio the next morning. He's like, you've done your meniscus again. So there we were again. Just come back from a head injury and sort of feel like things are going okay, and bang, another knock on, another challenge. And I'm thinking, wow, the same knee again. So saw the doctor, went for my MRI scans, confirmed that my meniscus had torn again, and I needed to have surgery. It's the only way I could fix it. So I started getting all of that in place, and the club said, no, you need to play the next game, then you can have your surgery. Now, I couldn't put my leg, I couldn't straighten my leg. Just remember that. I couldn't really walk, and they said, you do what you got to do, and you've got to play this game, and then you can have your surgery and recover from there. So off I went to a doctor, got a cortisone injection in my knee, and that was on the Thursday, and the game was on the Sunday. Went to captains on Friday, and I don't know how I got through that. Got through captains, and then same thing, get home, pain, don't sleep, you can't lie on your one side, your knee's swollen, aching, throbbing. So, but we just, what do we do as rugby players? The next game's the most important thing, so we have to play. And morning of the game, went for our team lunch, and same thing, I'm struggling to walk, I'm struggling to do the walkthroughs, and like every time I step, I'm in a huge pain, but I have to play this game because that's what we do as rugby players. We put our mind and body through so much because that next game is so important. And only late in life, where I'm right now, I understand that that game isn't that important. That training session isn't that important, but when you're in it, you've got to do it. So, yeah, game came, wet, cold day, derby game, have to win to stay in the division, and I just prayed. I prayed, and I truly believe God, He's always with me, but in that day, I had an angel on my shoulder because even in the warm-up, I felt like, what was I doing? I was in so much pain. I couldn't really walk on my leg. Now I'm going to play a rugby game. I'm going to jump in line outs. I'm going to tackle. I'm going to run. And that's what I did. It's exactly what I did. I think I played 65 minutes that day, and not once did I feel my knee. I don't know how we are able to just flick the switch that we feel nothing. It's scary. It is absolutely scary because, yes, it gets you through that, but at what cost? At what cost to your leg, to your mind? So got through that game, had a huge game, and yeah, went and got my surgery done. And then a big change in my life. I'd been at this club with this for 5 years, but I don't know why I thought I needed a change, I need something new. So there was a team up north who were really keen, and they obviously knew my situation with my surgery, and they're like, it doesn't matter. Like, they flew me up, I visited everyone, and yeah, I made the move up north. And I didn't do it right. I could have gone about it a lot better with my club I was at, and I'm really sad how things ended. But yeah, these things happen, and we have to learn our lessons from them. So I felt like all those 5 years I lost so many friendships and relationships because of how it ended, but I needed to do what's best for me, and at that time that's exactly what I thought was best. So I made the move up north to a club called Amiens, where yeah, it was a huge change. If you know France, you know the southwest, you know the north, it's cold. It's cold there. It's a completely different mentality, completely different people. But yeah, I then went on to meet some incredible people that I'll call friends and brothers for life. Rian O'Neill and Shane Makombe, who huge impact on my life, where even still to this day, they two of my closest friends, and I look back and I'm like, maybe that's why the move happened, because I got to meet these amazing people. So it also worked out that the Rugby World Cup was in France. A lot of the big games were in Paris, and I got to have 2.5 exceptional months, thanks to my good friend Jaden Hendrickse, who provided me for tickets for all the games in Paris. I was able to watch the books in Paris. I was able to have a good friend of mine, Shane Westman, come out and spend a week with me, and he got his World Cup dream got to be a reality. He got to watch World Cup games, and yeah, I got to watch my country win a World Cup. So yeah, I still to this day, it feels like a dream that we experienced all of that live in the stadium. Yeah, so that was really cool. And then the season obviously just kicked off, and the club had just been promoted up a division, so it's always difficult when that happens, but I felt like we had a really good group, a really good young coach come in, and some very excellent players. So the season started, and yeah, I'd just come back from my knee op. The club were quite patient with me, and I was able to come back and slowly get back into it, which I was, and felt really good. And then, yeah, end of October we had a game, and we played somewhere in Paris. I don't even remember where it was, and it was physical. It was hard, and being the foreign players, being the guys who run the line out or do so much for the team, you're targeted in every way, on the ball, off the ball, and there was a big cross on my back that game, and I got it from every corner. And after that game, I remember feeling my head wasn't lacquer. I felt sore. Very sensitive to lights again, and something just didn't feel good. So then again, went to doctors, did scans, and took time off. I didn't play for 3.5 months again, almost the exact same thing. And I was like, this isn't good. This can't carry on because, like I said, your head you can't strap, you can't ice it. So yeah, time off again, not playing, and it was difficult. And that's where I had moments thinking, is it worth it? Like, is it time to call it? Like, I don't need to keep having these injuries. But then again, that next game's so important. That next contract's so important, and we get through, and I got through quite well, and I was all good coming back again. And the club were in a difficult position where bottom of the table, so tight, really were at risk of getting relegated. And where I saw a different side to French rugby and French coaches was we had an away game, and at the time, myself, Shane, Rian, Taps, we were coaching the junior teams at the club, so we got into the hotel a little bit later than the rest of the team, and arrived at the hotel, and the coach said we need to have a meeting in one of our rooms. So everyone came to my room, had a meeting, and the coach said to us that if the results carry on, we're all losing our contracts, because somehow it was our fault that the club were in that position and not winning games. So all that pressure and all of that got put onto us, and yeah, we ended up not staying up, ended up getting relegated, and I had a 2-year contract at the club. I was busy doing my studying to become a coach. I was coaching and enjoying that, but we were told we weren't going to be kept. So there you go again. Find that contract. You got to find a contract somewhere, or it's done. And so that search started, and I thought, you know what? Here's my opportunity. I can go play anywhere in France. I knew I'd be able to get a contract. Just I could decide where. So I had a look around. I thought where would be nice to live, and the south of France sounds pretty good, doesn't it? So yeah, managed to chat some agents and club directors, and yeah, chatted to a team in the south of France, and all sounded good from what we chatted about, and I was quite excited. And then I remember the day where they sent through the offer, and I didn't have an excitement. I wasn't excited and relieved. I was almost a bit worried, but I thought, you know what, it's a new change. We've just been through a lot, and you'll be fine once you get there. So yeah, it's like, okay, cool. Signed the contract and signed to go down to the south of France, Saint Raphael. Such an incredible part of the world. You have Cannes, Antibes, Nice, Monaco, all right there on the beach. I thought, you know what, it's like I'm back home, back in Durban. And I remember a week before I was meant to leave, another team contacted me, and they'd seen me play throughout the last 6 years I've been in France, and that president was like, come to my club, like, we'll offer you this, we'll give you that, like, come play for us. And I remember when I said to him I'm going to the south, I had a sick feeling in my stomach. You know that gut feeling where you just feel like something isn't lekker, something's not right. And I had that feeling when I told I was going down south, and to this day that was my gut feeling. And I don't regret anything and the decision I made, but I look back and I think, like, if I trusted my gut there, how would things have turned out? So I committed to this team. I told them I'm coming, so off I went down south, and yeah, the adventure down south started, and got off to an incredible start. I was in this amazing part of the world, somewhere I'd been on holiday. I was like, I want to live here and play one day. I was living there, playing there, and things didn't get off to the best start in terms of the club, because didn't get the apartment they'd promised, so I had to settle for something else. I was like, it's okay. We'll give them benefit of the doubt, and yeah, that's where the warning signs started. But yeah, you just get on with things. You have to, and ended up meeting an incredible girl who, yeah, was someone that made me see life differently, made me feel differently, and she really did change my life, and I'll forever be grateful for that chapter, and grateful for who she was to me. So I met this amazing girl. I was like, okay, no, it's fine. We're down south. I haven't got the apartment we want, but got an amazing girl living in an amazing part of France. We good, and yeah, things started well. Played some really good rugby. Had a lot of fun on the field. I was now at a team that was trying to win the league, not trying to stay in the league. So all of a sudden, it's different. You're winning games, you're having fun, and yeah. One day training, I went to fold around a ruck, and a player got cleaned out and fell on my knee. So my knee sort of hyperextended in, and I was like, oh, here we go again. But luckily it wasn't too serious, and I missed 1 week, and then I was like, I can't miss the next week. I've just got to this club. I have to be playing. I have to show people why I'm here. Like, yeah, I have to play every single game. And then, yeah, that next game back, we were playing, and I remember I got the ball and I made a pass, and I got tackled late. And as I fell on the floor, I just felt like a loud smack to the side of my head. I thought someone slapped me. Only afterwards I see no one did, but like, I felt that, and I felt all dizzy. Ears were ringing, like fuzzy, seeing stars, but I had to play. I had to play. I couldn't just get to this club, miss a game because of a knee injury, and then go off now because of my head. So I had to play. Physio came on. I told him I'm fine. I knew where we were, and I knew I wasn't fine though. But in that moment, we think that moment's the most important moment of our life. That moment's not even that big. And I put my body through so much, but so I remember just after that there was a line out, and I got the call completely wrong. I don't get line out calls wrong. I don't. And I played 80 minutes that day. 80 minutes where I should not have played. And no, who do you blame? It's happened. And I remember that night my girlfriend was flying back to where she lived, and her flight was really delayed, and she decided to stay for a couple more days. And I remember feeling so relieved, because I was like, I can't be alone because something's not okay. But then again, we ignore the signs, and we tell ourselves we're fine, and the next week's training's more important, the next game's important. And I got over it because we had a bye week, and after that I felt okay, came back playing. Everything was okay. Sort of got back into it, and went on and played quite a few good games in a row. And then my knock-on happened. It's taken 38 minutes to get to my big knock-on, but my big knock-on happened. We had a game, and I went to make a tackle, and I swung around, my teammate swung around, we hit heads, and I felt sore, but I wasn't knocked out. I knew I was okay, but I knew I couldn't carry on. So I said to the physio, I was like, half time just like I said, nah, I'm done. I don't feel too good. They're like, okay, cool, go off. But then I felt fine. Bus trip back, I was watching the NFL on my laptop, I was all good. Got home, I slept okay. And then did my 3 weeks off. I felt okay. Then the club said, just go get scans done. Go get a CT scan to make sure everything's okay. And that's where I started to panic. I was like, what if something's not okay? What if there's genuinely something wrong? And then, I started having severe anxiety that there was really something wrong with me. And I remember I'd get these things where I'd be fast asleep and I'd feel like a lightning strike in my head, and I didn't say anything to anyone because I was so scared it was so bad that I didn't tell the coaches, I didn't tell my doctor, didn't tell my family, didn't tell my girlfriend, because it'll be okay, it'll be fine, like, I'm always fine. Everything else happened, I've been okay, so I'll be fine this time. And then it had moments where I'd get it during the day, where I'd get this like feeling of like my heart skipping a beat and this like electric wave through my face, and then it started severe sensitivity to light. But I was there to play rugby, so I needed to get back playing rugby, and I remember even going to trainings, I'd get home and feel so disorientated. I'd feel so dizzy. I'd jump in line and come back and I'd feel like a rush through my head, and then I'd get home and feel lightheaded and struggle to get through the evening. But then we had to just carry on. I just had to carry on. What else could I do? And I was so petrified that something was seriously wrong that anxiety just took over. It took over, and yeah, I then experienced some horrible things, and I was then, I felt like I was choking in my sleep. I kept having these like brain zaps in my head, and then went through to the doctor and I told him, and he then put me on some more stuff, and so I don't want to go too much into detail on that, but I then knew something was really not okay. CT scans, MRI scans came back clear, but what was missed in France was that I'd suffered post-concussion syndrome, and they kept saying that it's not anything with your head, like you'd have your blood checked, maybe something with your blood, like you're deficient in something, or it's something with your heart. And then I just spiraled and thinking that like it was the point where I thought I was dying. I thought my body was giving up on me. I felt like I was having heart attacks in my sleep. The anxiety was so severe. I couldn't even walk to the shop without feeling any of that. So I sent everything to my mom and I said, please, can you maybe just get a doctor at home to check back in SA? And that's where it was seen that I have post-concussion syndrome. Never heard of it before that. Didn't know what it was, but he said, you need to get back to South Africa as soon as possible. So, then luckily I was in no state to fly to South Africa, and I'm grateful I have family in London, in the UK, so I flew there for a couple of days just to get a bit of strength and get better, before flying back to SA. And it was there where doctor told me that I have post-concussion syndrome, anxiety and depression, and that is my knock-on. I am not sure how I let it get that bad. I still ask myself that now. And I think a big thing in terms of the depression, anxiety side of things, if I'd spoken up, if I'd said I'm not okay sooner, things could have been different. If I'd expressed my feelings, if I'd known how to do that, if I didn't just bottle things up, I would have known that it was just anxiety when I was experiencing certain things, or but the main thing was that my head wasn't okay. As much as the scan said nothing was there, post-concussion syndrome isn't picked up on scans, and I'm starting to learn a lot more about it now and starting to understand it a lot better. It's not something, like I said, it's not like you're in a sling or you're in a brace and then you know that, okay, in 3 weeks' time, my brace is going to come off and then I can maybe start walking. There's nothing for your head when it comes to that, and I really did struggle to understand that. Then again, you mix that with the anxiety and the depression, and yeah, that has been my knock on, and I've struggled with it. I'm still struggling now. I'm in a better place, hence why I'm able to just sit here, record, and speak about this. But I know that there's still a good journey to go, and still so much more to learn. But I feel like going through all of that, I need to speak about it and reach out, because in the space of sports and rugby in particular in South Africa, I don't think we are speaking enough about the mental health side of things. And yeah, I wanna be an advocate for that, and I wanna help people speak up, and even if it's just something small. Yeah, so my knock on was post concussion syndrome. I was told you do not go back in the rugby field again. Basically, the post concussion syndrome, from my doctor, he said that any small vibration, any certain movement, any knock can trigger a concussion. So there I'm 26 years old, being told that your dream is done, you won't play rugby again, you mustn't play rugby again. Had to leave a life I'd known for 7 years in France. Broke up with my girlfriend, who I genuinely pray for and hope for the best. Like, yeah, all the best to her and her family. They were so incredible to me, and yeah, all I'd known was, felt like I'd grown up in France as an adult, and all of a sudden you don't have that life anymore. And it happened so quickly. It happened so quickly. March had started, April I'd moved back to South Africa, and that's how quickly it happened. My career ended. And yeah, I've moved back home. I'm living with mom and dad, 26 years old, and feel like I've lost everything I've loved. I've lost my dream. I've lost the country and home that became my home. It's so weird, because I struggle with moments where I'll be at home, I'll be with my family, but I feel homesick. I feel homesick when I'm around the people I love. I'm meant to be at home, and it's just now coping and dealing with losing a laugh in a place I called home. And yeah, one day I could go back. Will go back, but I know it'll never be the same. And that's really difficult, because yeah, 7 years of my life was spent there, and I didn't want it to be 7 years. I wanted the rest of my life to be in France. I loved the country, and I still wanted to play rugby, but yeah, that was done. It's done now. So that's all happened, and I'm still dealing with it. I'm in therapy now. I've started taking medicine. I tried not to. I thought I could just get over it and beat it, but it's there to help us, and sometimes we just need that help, and it's helping me. I still have really difficult moments, and I know I'm still going to have moments, like I just moments where I want to feel normal, feel like myself. And funny enough, today I started feeling like that. That's why I've had the courage to set this up and talk here. But yeah, that's me. Matthew Bauer, a young kid who grew up loving sports. I went on to live my dream, and that's my biggest takeaway, is that I actually lived my dream. For 7 years of my life, I lived this incredible dream and incredible life, and the more I go on this process, the more I look back at that with gratitude, and the more I celebrate that, because a lot of people don't get to live their dreams. They have jobs they don't enjoy, they live lives they don't enjoy, and I lived an incredible life. I think people know me, the MB5 living, I was living, and it's changed so quickly. I don't understand why it's changed the way it has. I know there's a reason why. I can't understand it now, and that's okay. I'm going to get to the stage where I can, and I trust that I will eventually get there. But until then, yeah, I know it's going to be difficult, but I'm in such a better space right now, and that's my knock on. And now the thing is, how do I turn that knock on into my advantage? What do I do now? And only one person can decide that. That's me. Only I can decide, what do I do now? How do I use this knock on and setback to create that next part of my life that I want to love and enjoy, do things I love. And I know when I'm healthy enough, I'm going to get to that, and I'm going to love that, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to understand and take so many learnings from this. But right now it's so difficult to see, and I know the people out there, you're going through something, and I notice there's no light at the end of that tunnel, but there's no train coming either. Keep going. I'm going to keep going. And yeah, I just want to thank all my family, friends that have supported me. And yeah, you have special friends when a friend reaches out to you and says, "You've been quiet, are you okay, what's up?" So yeah, if it means grabbing a drink with someone, this is going to be quite cold now, but just one small chat can change so much. Have that courage to have that chat. It's never silly chat if you're not feeling well. If you feel like something's not up. So yeah, that's the knock on. And I'm excited to now bring on people who've also had their knock-ons but turn them into advantages, and I'm excited to learn from them. I'm excited to see how they change things, how things happen for them. And yeah, I hope you guys join me on this journey. Yeah, so thank you so much for listening. Please like, please subscribe. I've got some really cool content coming. And I'll see you soon. Cheers.